Hey there, this is Stephanie Treasure, host of the Coach and Profit Giveaway, where I've brought together 40 plus experts who are going to be sharing their visibility, marketing, and business strategies for making six figures and more in your coaching business so that you can grow, leverage, and scale. I've invited my colleagues to shine the spotlight on the high value resources that they have provided for this special event. So thank you for joining us on this live stream. Thank you for prioritizing this event, as well as giving it your focus to truly make participation in this event very impactful for your business and really honor your time. So today it is my pleasure to speak with Chasity Snow of Company Curators, who is one of our featured experts in the Coach and Profit Giveaway. Hey there, Chasity, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, Stephanie, thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to ask you to jump in. You and I have been well acquainted, but I'm going to ask you to jump in and share with us a little bit more about you and what you do as you're representing Company Curators here today.
Okay. I'm Chasity Snow. I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee, very small town. I wear very, very many hats. I am a published romance author. I am a coach to authors that are aspiring writers or authors that are looking to build their brand up, actually treat their authorship as a business and brand. But I'm also the CEO of Company Curators, and we are a company that right now we're extremely focused on amplifying Black women and Black voices through very, very different means. We definitely have a blog, we have a newsletter that we send out, but our main focus here at Company Curators is really helping women that are looking to leave their corporate job in search of their owning their own time and freedom and the ability to control that and the ability to, spend more time with family, because you don't have to, you can make your own schedule. You can, come to work with your hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. You can do whatever you want to do, if that is what you choose. But our focus is definitely making sure women that are looking to leave corporate, are looking to start their own service-based business, understand and get access to a more holistic approach to running a business. That is, of course, your, practical tips of identifying what you need to do, creating a strategy, but it's also addressing the social emotional aspects of running a business, your mindset, your mindset around money, your mindset around, removing the mask that you may have had on while you were at your corporate job or while you're at your corporate job. But also the technical aspect, right? What does it look like to build a website? What do you, what things do you need to do to secure your data, your clients' data? How do I get a contract started, right? How do I get SBA certified? How do I, get all of these things done? So we are really, really focused now on giving women the chance to start a business in a holistic way that is not heavily focused on only, buzzwords, right? 30K in 6 days, right? It's that whole situation of what does it feel like on the inside? What does my mind feel like? And what does my heart feel like? That's what we do at Company Curators.
I love the mission behind Company Curators, because I think, and I'm going to, add myself to this list, but usually whenever we contemplate leaving corporate, leaving your 9 to 5, leaving a steady job to enter into entrepreneurship, the first thing that seems, well, two main things I know that was on my mind was having more freedom, more time freedom, as well as being able to, write my own paycheck. So if I wasn't getting, making what I'd like to be making per year, this is my opportunity to, pay myself what I'd like to pay myself. But that's those two things, very real dreams and very possible. But what it can look like to get to that point where you do have the time freedom, where you are able to write a paycheck that is twice what you were making before or more, right? Yeah. Practically how to do that is not exactly a straight path.
Yeah.
Right? And I think persons don't normally think of that when they're, they're just thinking, okay, I just need to leave here. I just need to
Right.
do some kind of a business. I'm going to start something on the side. Some money seems to be coming in.
Yeah.
Let me just do this. Let me just plan
Yeah.
my strategy and just, just make the leap, just
Yeah.
make the jump. And it's
Yeah.
not quite so easy.
It's not. And like you said, it's not a straight path, right? It's not a straight path. And because it's not a straight path, there's not a lot of things to grab onto, right? It's again, like you said, we think about the highs, right? Before we even leave the job, we think about all the highs that we're gonna have, right? The writing my own paycheck, the freedom, right? But there's some really real things on the flip side of that, right? Insurance. Who's gonna pay? How do I even do that? Who should I even look into to get insurance? And a lot of people are staying at their jobs because of insurance, because of, all these other things that it just doesn't sometimes, even when it feels desirable in your head, you cannot find the desirables with it. But but again, we have to be really ready to, again, create that strategy, understand that plan, set a date that feels comfortable for you. No one is saying once you get into a program, quit that same day. Like I told you earlier, I don't recommend everybody doing what I done, but I'm also a realist. And, I don't know that if I didn't do it that way, that it really would have worked for me. Mind you, I'm a Sagittarius. We really fly by the seat of our pants. When I had the idea, I did what I felt was right. Text my husband, I think I'm quitting today. And I did. I don't recommend that to everybody because there was no plan. There was no strategy. There was no, okay, in 2 weeks, I'm not going to have a paycheck. Right. So what do I need to be doing in the meantime to, set aside things, pay some things out, so there is a lot of things that you really just kind of have to think about. And you have to be willing to have those hard conversations with yourself. And again, believe that you can really do it because you can. It may require a few sacrifices. It may require you to address some very deep things, but at the end of the day, it can happen. And we want to make sure women know that it can happen. You can get insurance. There are things and people in place that can help you do that and get you covered and things like that. Those really real things that we worry about when we do leave, right? Again, we go really, really high on the highs, and then those lows start coming in. So those highs don't really seem that desirable anymore. But there is a middle ground. There is middle ground.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much for sharing that because yeah, it takes some work and some strategy and some organizing. And
Yeah.
you may kind of in the beginning feel like things are not as structured as they may have been. As much as you wanted to get away from corporate to ditch the structure, ditch the 9 to 5, and be able to work, your own hours and have a little bit more freedom and expansion to do what you want. But there's certain structures that you want to maintain, like possibly, a regular
Yeah.
regular paycheck, structures around, taking time off, be able to say, I'm going to take a week off, I'm going to take this day off without have to worry or wonder if I take this time off, will I lose clients? Will I lose opportunities to speak with, to bring more clients on? Will I lose money, right? These are some things that that may go through people's mind as they make that transition from corporate to working on their own. Tell me, what do you find to be one of the biggest mistakes, or what are one or two big mistakes that you find that people make when they get to that point where they're operating a side business and things are going well and they're bringing on clients and they're ready to now transition into making it their full-time business? What's one of the one or two big mistakes that you find that people make when it comes to doing that? Or when it comes to making that transition?
One of the big things that we typically see is I don't and it's strange sometimes because for some reason for people to feel like they can do this full time, right? They feel like they have to have all these certifications, all these pieces of paper, right? All these, okay, I have this certification. And not all the time is that true. And a lot of the times, you thinking that this certification, changes things and from what you already know, right? And it doesn't necessarily do that. So I see a lot of people saying, okay, I'm working in the business, I'm doing the business, I'm ready to transition. But in order for me to really be taken seriously, I'm going to have to pull, step back a little bit and then go get the certification. And that's just not always true, because, there are going to be things that, of course, formal education will play into, but life experience, you can't really pay for that sometimes. You can't pay for that. I didn't go to take creative writing courses when I first started writing. That didn't make me any less of an author. I have 36 books published, and I started writing in 2017. That was my university right there. It's putting in that hard work. That was my university. I don't need a certification. I don't need to, you know, boast myself up as a creative writer, from this particular course or this particular class, to be able to tell people how to write a book, how to publish a book, what I've learned. So it's a lot of that. But I do believe that that is a bigger thing. It's not really about the certification. It's really about that lack of confidence. And I really see a lot of people when they, do finally make that leap, that for some reason their confidence takes a hit because their paycheck is no longer there. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think attaching our worth, our value, our expertise to a monetary value, is sometimes one of the bigger mistakes that people make, because it doesn't always, just because you were getting that paycheck and you're not getting it now, doesn't mean that you're not worthy of still making that amount. The next thing that I'll say I see a lot of people make the mistake is chasing every trend. Shiny object syndrome is really, really not, I won't even say a mistake. It's just something that you want to get contained, right? Get that contained, because there's going to be this, there's going to be that. It's never going to end. I mean, right now, social media technology is like, every year there's something new, somewhere, a new trend, a new thing to do. There's TikTok. I am not on TikTok. Why? Because I don't know how to work TikTok. I will watch it, I will laugh, but I know that that's not my thing, And instead of chasing that and putting something on the back burner because everybody else is doing it, you've got to understand and be okay with what works for you, instead of jumping on every single trend that you see and every single thing that you think you want to do, right? Plan that out. Make that make sense. I tell people a lot of times, because we've had one client that was like, oh, I'm not going to launch it until I get my website. And I'm just like, what? You could be making money without a website. You just need a landing page. You need for somewhere to come to see who you are, what you do, what you offer, and a way to take payment. You do not have to have $1,000 built website and you don't have $1,000 in income coming in yet. Like, so, again, properly planning, but also taking the time to step back before you just execute and I had that bad. I would, in my head, I would come up with the freebie and boom. Now, I got 10 freebies rolling around here, ain't made a dime, but that's just because my, I'm like squirrel, but that, and, contain that, because, again, you can't chase every single thing. And there's also going to be some money that you may have to leave on the table because it just doesn't make sense for where you are in business or who you want to help. If your audience is not on TikTok, why are you trying to learn TikTok? Like, right now, when you're first starting out and you right now need to get a good amount of money in the bank, but also a clear understanding of what it is that you want to do. And if the way you're doing it right now is even how you like to do it, because how you start out in business is not always how you end off in business. It morphs, it changes, and you need to be able to pivot without chasing every single thing that someone comes to you, that someone tells you that, oh, I think you should, add in products. And now you're over here spending $20 on a book that you got to, it's just figure out what works best for you and be okay with that.
Yeah, that's powerful advice. Because there may be, your audience may very well be on TikTok, right?
Right.
But if you're running a business that is, you're not making the kind of revenue that you're wanting to make, or you don't have, a big, marketing team that's
Yeah.
supporting you, and you are bringing on clients in other ways from other platforms with, proven strategies that you can count on whenever you execute these things, that's when the clients come in. Then that's where you should be focusing on until you're able to, hand some things off, and then possibly spend some time on TikTok,
Right.
or have a team member, be the
Exactly.
face of the brand for the TikTok
Yes.
marketing. You don't have to do every single, because for argument's sake, you can get clients from Pinterest, you can get clients through Instagram
Yeah.
marketing, you can get clients through YouTube marketing, you can get clients through Facebook, you can get clients through Twitter. But are you going to do all five?
Right.
Do you have the bandwidth to do all five? Does it make sense to spread
You're
yourself
so
thin, because if you
thin.
have a small team, and do all of that, or just focus on the ones that are really proving themselves to be, bringing on your clients in meaningful
Right.
ways, bringing on your high-end clients, allowing you to fill those programs and make more money, until you can possibly expand to those platforms, or just decide that, look, as a company, we normally focus on Facebook and Instagram marketing. We don't normally do Pinterest, and even on Instagram, we don't do the TikTok part. That's just not our thing. This is where we're focused, and this is where we're bringing in the money.
Yeah, but it's
Right?
not easy either. Like, my kids can do TikTok all day long, and I consider myself pretty tech savvy, but there's just a lot of moving pieces there that, can I really cultivate a community that way? And, that is, again, not saying that I'll never get on it, but I don't know. And it's not really like at the top right now. It's my focus is community and creating this community and cultivating the community where I know that they are, until I've done that to 100%. And then maybe I'll move on, right? When that's running on itself, that's optimized, it's just going. Okay, maybe we'll switch to TikTok. Maybe we'll go to Pinterest. Maybe we'll go to, I don't know, wherever, maybe we'll go to Twitter. But focusing on what works for you, that's okay. It's okay to say no to some trends. It's okay to not have your hands in every pot, because how are you managing your energy? And again, the whole point of being able to run your own business and be an entrepreneur is being able to control your time, your efforts, and your energy. And if you are taking in outside influences, because everybody else is on Twitter, everybody else is doing it on TikTok, everybody else, that's again you morphing into a different structure that is really not your business and really not you. So are you really owning your time and your identity and your talents if you are not really sure as to who you are and what your business is and how your business is going to be run? You've got to get to that point before you start adding in other things that you want to add in because you want to, not because, oh, I think this can make me go viral, right? But does viral always equate to coins? That's why I tell people, let me ask you this. Is this outcome gonna mean income? Like, let's think about that. And it doesn't always have to be income, but what is the outcome that pushes your business forward, that moves you along in business and in your entrepreneurship? And it may not always be following those trends. Figure out what works for your business, master that, master your time, your talent, your identity, and what you can manage. So you can actually enjoy when you have time off and you're not, oh my God, there's a new trend. Now I got to get to my computer and go, follow this trend and squirrel, be able to take those time because you've optimized your business. Your business can really run on its own. You've got a team that's comfortable. There are a lot of ways to do this business, and full-time entrepreneurship is just, you have to understand that it's a bag of emotions. It is a roller coaster, but you are ultimately the boss.
Great. And on that note, I'm going to ask you to share with us what you've brought to this giveaway event, because I really wanted to bring on persons who could bring valuable useful gifts that people could actually download and be able to go through it and implement real strategies that will have some impact in their businesses and or lives, right?
Yes.
So I know that you brought together a special checklist for this giveaway for
Mhm.
persons that are joining in and would like to get a hold of this. Go ahead and tell us more about what that is, what the benefits are, and why persons should go ahead and take advantage and download that gift that you brought for us today.
Okay, so the 9-step checklist, and let me just preface it, although it's a 9-step checklist, the download is actually 14 pages. So you are going to get more than just a checklist, something that you can just take a pen and check the box and move on. But with our 9-step checklist, again, our audience and a lot of our focus is women looking to leave corporate to start their own service-based business, to, get into their own ownership and things like that. So with the checklist, we definitely help you identify the critical pieces of really starting a business, an assignment-based business, right? As well as creating your own strategy and giving you an opportunity to, again, create and find a resignation date that feels comfortable and good for you. But within this checklist, we definitely talk about, one of the first things we talk about, of course, is deciding what your impact is going to be, right? What is it that you want to do? How are you going to help? And what is your transformation? Because that's extremely important when being in a service-based business or being in any business, because we all know that people are emotional spenders, right? People are emotional buyers. And a lot of the times it's not the product itself, it's the story behind it. It's the impact behind it, right? So how can you determine what your impact is? We help you figure that out. We help you, figure out, again, what is it, your numbers, right? What is your strive and thrive numbers? What do I need to make to strive, right? Just pay the bills, maybe have enough for a sandwich at the end of the week, a coffee, and what are your thrive numbers? What does your number look like for you to take that vacation with your family once a year, if that's what you want to do, right? What does it look like? Okay, I need to buy a new car. I need to pay for insurance if this. So what do those numbers look like? We help you, kind of get down to the nitty gritty of the numbers, because those are important. You need to know your numbers so you can determine how much you're going to charge. You can determine how much you're going to put your energy in. Do you need to add products? Do you have an ad budget and stuff like that? So again, how to get visible, getting your audience, what is your dream client? Who are they? What do you know about them? What do you need to learn more about them? And how do you learn that information, right? Is it through polls? Is it, all kind of different stuff. So the checklist is just full of information that can help you start building a strong exit strategy, as well as kind of critically think about some of the things that you'll need that we're going to help you either exit corporate, and then when you exit corporate, sustain that exit, because that is the whole goal, right? Is to keep that exit and sustain it, like not to have to go back to work. So that is definitely the checklist, and I'm excited for everybody to get it, because I do think that there are some things that just we think about, and everybody thinks about business differently, and we really think that your impact is really the most important thing that you're ever going to do in your business, right? Yeah, it's important to leave corporate. It's important to own your business, but it's important to transform lives while you are running this business and making money by doing it, right? There is a way to have your passion and have a paycheck that you sign yourself. So, yeah.
Great. And remind us of the exact name of of your free item so that persons can look out for it on the
Yes,
giveaway
definitely.
pages.
Yes, it's Fleeing Corporate America and the 9-step checklist to build your exit strategy and go be your own boss. That is the name of our freebie.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. It definitely sounds like a very, very valuable item. So if you haven't already, as you're watching this, go ahead, sign up for the giveaway at coachandprofitgiveaway.com. When you go onto the pages and you're scrolling through, be sure to look out for the checklist and get a hold of it if any of this resonated with you today, or if you find yourself in a place where you are looking to plan an exit strategy. And I would even dare say that even if you're an established business owner, you've already left corporate, still download it to kind of go over the checks and balances to see if
Yeah.
you have implemented these things and how you can now put those systems in place, a system for insurance, a system for time off, a system for, you know, doing your taxes and getting all the
Yeah.
financial things in order. Go ahead and still download it and, you know, put it against what you're doing, what you've already done, and see what else you can do to really make sure that you're on firm footing as you continue to
Yes.
grow your business. Right?
Yes, definitely, definitely.
And is there a takeaway, Chastity, as we wrap up that you want to share with persons that are listening that have heard what you say? They're in that point where they're still in that job and working the side gig, or they've just left corporate. What's the takeaway that you want to leave them with today?
I definitely want to leave anybody watching this video with the idea that you have to have every single thing in place. It has to be perfection, right? It doesn't. And I want you to be, I want to, so I'm going to leave you with a statement, and what you do with it is what you do with it. I won't elaborate any further, but I will say that I want you to identify if this need for perfection is really your fear of rejection. That's my takeaway. And what you do with it after that is what you do with it after that.
I think that deserves repetition. Go ahead and say that again.
I want you to think about if your desire for perfection is really just masking your fear of rejection.
Perfect, perfect. So listen to that, folks. We're just gonna, Chastity, just
Just
leave
gonna
it
leave
right
it.
there.
Just gonna
Just
leave it.
repeat it for yourself in your own mind as many times as you need to, and listen into your intuition, listen to your higher source for the answer that comes from that. Perfectly well said.
Yeah.
Great, great. And then where can folks keep up with you and what you guys are doing over at Company Curators? What's your the place where we can find you most online?
Okay, so definitely, I would definitely say the best place to find us, of course, is going to be on Instagram, and that's going to be at Company Curators. Um, that's it, at Company Curators on IG. But we also are very, very active on our blog and in our newsletter. And you can definitely check out our blog, join our newsletter at www.companycurators.io. We spend a lot of time there because, again, our whole entire goal is not only to help entrepreneurs, but also amplify and uplift Black voices. So if you are seeing this and you want to contribute to our blog, we are looking for that too. We are looking for people that want to just read our blog and be a part of the blog and share it. And, but we are also looking for contributors because we want to highlight Black voices. We want to highlight Black business owners. We want to highlight Black women and what they're doing in corporate, because I don't know if you know when you're watching this, but we are moving and grooving right now. We are moving and grooving, and we're getting into different lanes and different areas. And when I say we are looking to amplify Black voices, that does not mean that we are not speaking to anybody else, because we are. But I am a Black woman, and only I can share what it feels like to be a Black woman in business, and what it feels like to be a Black woman in corporate. So I can't share anybody else's story. I'm only here to amplify my voice and yours as well. But doesn't mean that you don't have to be Black. You can be whatever. But that is where our focus is giving, Black women an opportunity to amplify their voices. But we are still an ally. We still feel like, other nationalities and other races and other demographics are allies for us too. So we are not in any way saying you cannot come to our blog, you cannot get any of our tips, you cannot join any of our courses. That's just where we are right now, is making sure we are giving those women a platform and an opportunity to see other women like us too.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much, Chastity. This was a pleasure to speak with you today and spotlight the valuable gift that you brought to the giveaway, as well as the mission behind Company Curators. I leave you with this, folks, where I leave you right here, rather, and I'll see you in the next Spotlight interview. Bye.